house. All right, welcome back. So if you've been following, I'm putting the body on this frame, and I've got everything centered up, and I'm bracing it from forward to the rear. I still haven't found my tube bender. I have one hit. I'm gonna go look maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I kind of need the bender for the rear. I really don't, because I have two benders here, and that would work fine. I just want to see if the electrical conduit bender will work on my square tubing. Like I said, I saw it on Full Custom Ian's channel, and I thought that was the neatest thing in the world, you know, and now I must try. So I'm gonna continue finishing up this welding. I'll show y'all just a little bit of bracing I did just to hold it in place. It's not my final bracing. I've just got to get it into place so I could get in there and start finalizing, you know, the floor, attaching it completely all the way around. I really want to focus on that, just getting the whole underside. I will need the bender to do the rear cabs. That's kind of the point of why I need that conduit bender. But if I don't find one in a day or two, then I will just use my benders and we'll get it done. And because I'm about to build an inner structure, and I'm thinking about doing it out of square tubing. I build the whole inner structure out of square tubing, then I can start attaching all my sheet metal to it. I think would work great. So just an idea I have. So yeah, rock on, let's continue. All right, now I've got this trimmed up. This is gonna go right here, maybe up against it, or maybe I like it flush with the bracket. So I'll put it right there, and I'll put it up high. That way we can go ahead and cap it. Once we get done welding it, we can cap it, and you won't be able to see, you know, nothing on the inside. All we need to get to is this bolt right here to be able to unbolt the radiator support if we ever have to. Hopefully not. But other than that, that's the only bolt we need to get to. So let me tack this in. Cha-ching, that was that sound. That meant money. Come here, welder. Phew. Just a little bit more stronger there. Not bad. All right. Hold on 2 seconds. right. Okay, this was a long process, so I kind of skipped out of it, but I'm gonna show you exactly what I did. I welded my doors up so I can't really get in the cab, and I surely don't fit in these holes. So I just grabbed pieces of scrap. I kind of set them up there. I'm trying to figure out this cab corner, how I'm gonna brace it, and I kind of need to know the shape of it so I at least know what I'm working with. And with a bunch of scrap pieces, trial and error, laying on the ground, there's a huge hole down here, and I made this. So the separate piece, of course, goes up against my A-pillar. Behind my A-pillar, it'll sit up against that. And of course, I'm following this body line back here because I want to reinforce this whole rear. That way we can start, once we have a reinforcement there, we can start welding the floor to the reinforcement. Like I said, there's nothing now. It's an outer cab and it's missing a quarter of the bottom. So that's where we're at. Next, I'm gonna grab me some square tubing, and I think I'm gonna use square tubing. I've got an idea, maybe cool, maybe lame, but I think it'll be cool. All right. So here's the issue. This is the bend I need, you know, radius, whatever you want to call it. I need that. And this is what I've got. So I have to figure out how to bend this to follow the shape of the rear of the truck. So got a couple things in mind. You know, I couldn't find my tool that I was looking for. This is 1-inch square tubing, so I don't know if it would bend as easy as a 1/2 inch, but I just wanted to try it. One way we could try it is probably mark it every 1/2 inch and then try to bring it in. I don't think marking it every 1/2 inch is going to give me, it's a little bit more than a 90. 90 is a little more square. So I'm not sure. We're just gonna play around with it and see if we can make it work. All I know is I need to make this, this, and this match. And then I'll make it long and attach it to the other side and make another one for the other side. So this is my left side. You flip it over, bam, there's my right side. So let me see if I can figure this out. All right, this is what we got going on. I'm gonna cheat it a little bit. Couldn't find my tool, you already know. 1-inch square tubing, cut it 4 inches long. I've got it butted up to the top of the rear of my B pillar. When I get down here, I found some flat bar. It says 3/4 inch thick, could be. And it fits it perfectly inside of my 1-inch square tubing. So all I'm gonna do to get this radius here is I'm gonna cut me 2 pieces, set them there, and I'll bend my flat bar, cut it, tack it in there. By the time I'm done, you won't even be able to tell. So that's what I'm gonna do. It'd be the best way right now with what I have, and I really just want to get it done. So let's move on. All right, here's my original plan, was to make 2 little deals that went around this, braced around the body, all the way around, an upper and a lower piece. And then I was gonna weld my sheet metal to that, and everything was just gonna be nice and dandy and happy. Well, looks like too much work. Even though it still sounds like a good idea, I think I'm just gonna end up attaching this to the back of this. Once this is solid, and then maybe I can, I'm gonna do like a triangle, put another piece here, and then I'll start being able to attach my floor to it somehow. Well, I think for now, I just need to be able to just hold it into place Once I've got it into place, then I'll be able to do whatever I want. But I need to be able to get these doors open, and I need it not to move when my door opens. So that's why I'm just trying to get as much reinforcement and get it as strong and sturdy as possible. So when I do cut these welds to pull my door back open, this thing won't flop around and I'll lose all my lines, which is not a big deal because I mean I could always move them back. It's just it's a headache still trying to work, especially doing it in here with minimum tools. So but I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna focus more on just trying to lock everything in place. Once everything is locked in place, and then I'll go from there and start really bracing this thing in. Once it's braced in, we'll attach the floor. The floor is really going to give it strength. That's really where it's all going to come from. But the braces will help keep it all in place. So back to the drawing board it is. All right, so what I want to do is measure from the back of the B pillar to the very back of the cab, because that I will put a piece of square tubing to hold that in place. And once that is welded into place, then I can continue with my floor. I might make it from here to here. It looks more feasible. So I'm probably looking about 6 3/8. So I'll put a piece, I'll check it, make sure it's good. I'll check it on the other side. Also, I'll make 2 pieces. Well, I'll make one. I know this is about 6 3/8. And man, I have to double check that again because I'm blind. But once I double check it, I'll go cut me a piece. I'll try it on that side first. If it's good, I'll cut me a second piece the same size. And I'm gonna tack those in place. We'll start from there. All right, so I've got my piece. First thing I'm gonna do is mark it 6 3/8. I've got it marked right on there. And a second way, I just want to show y'all this trick is on the cutoff wheel. I mean, when you use this and you put it right on the mark, you end up cutting it shorter than what you need. So you can always check it back here, set it down, pull this back. See, if I would have cut it there, I would have been at 6 1/2 or 6 1/4, and that would have put me 1/4 of an inch short. So we'll pull it out just a little bit right outside of my line. Now that I'm outside of my line, as you can see, I hit it. Okay, now that I'm outside of my line, I'll measure it once again. And this time I'll be at 6 3/8. So you see I put it one little line over. I think that's 1/32. So I put it a 32nd over. And when I cut it, let me lock it into place so it doesn't move. Safety goggles. And we are at 6 3/8. So I'm gonna check this first, make sure. I know it works on my side, but I'm gonna double check it. I'm gonna check the passenger side, and if it does fit, I'm gonna come back and make me another. I mean, it should fit, right? It's the same truck, but you know how that goes. Oh, let me get under here and look. All right, I've got my piece. Let me see if it's gonna work. It goes right there and right there. Pretty much. I'm gonna knock this burr off. Oh, there it goes. Nice. There it goes. Okay. So yeah, I'll tack it to the back. I'll weld it to the inner B-pillar. And I'll probably run one straight up to the other reinforcement from here. And then start attaching it to the floor. So, sweet. I like it. Okay, so I found me a decent piece. I've got to clean it up a little bit there, but no big deal. I have my little scrap pile of stuff that I've been using and reusing. So here we go. Oh, 18¼ inches. So that way I'll continue my bracing from where I left off on the B-pillar to the rear of the cab. All right, jam time. Now to put my pieces in. But before I put them in, see, I got a couple things to clean off real quick. So there I go. All right, there it is. A little hot, but it'll work. Now we talking. Now we talking. All right. Reach down there. Hold on 2 seconds. Oh, nice. Okay. I love it, guy. I just gotta get a good weld in there. Ready? That motherfucker on there. Okay, so I'm welding this together because my square tubing is not long enough for what I need, so I'm just adding a piece to it. On this side, I could have cut it. I still had enough, but I had a small little gap here, not very big. Just wanted to show y'all the trick to help, you know, when you have a big gap and you need to close it. I normally get a welding rod. This is the